And there are people who feel like it's different when you are part of the group that has been attacked, hurt, demeaned, etc. And then if you're outside of the group and you're having commentary about it, it causes feelings. And what do you say to people
Yeah, that's an extremely valid question.
who feel that in some occasions you're punching down?
Well,
Look at him immediately roll his eyes. Ugh, people getting mad at me punching down. Oh, get over it. Immediately rolls his eyes at... What do you have to say about people who think, yeah, you're not trans. Who are you to be making all of these jokes and making fun of all of these people?
About it, it causes feelings. And what do you say to people who feel that in some occasions you're punching down?
Well, okay, this is a conversation that you know.
You're bored by, sick of.
Yes, he is.
Nah, yeah, I'm not sick of it. I don't want to be dismissive to that sentiment, but I don't know. That's a tough one for me because so much of that was a media phenomenon. What was happening in actual life versus how the media was reporting on my show.
What do you Oh yeah, so much of that was just how the media was talking to people. Saw what you had to say and they were like, that's kind of fucked up. What do you It's kind of fucked up. You're sitting here punching down on these people, Dave Chappelle. I feel like you would understand that. Nah, that was just the media. Because if you actually listen to what I had to say, I was just punching down.
And I feel like the way they reported on that show was rage baiting to some degree. And there's so many different branches to talk about it. But I would say that, you know, not everything is for everybody. I don't tell country artists what to sing about if I'm not going to go see a country show. You know, if they bought tickets ever, maybe I'd listen. I don't know. They're just never there. I don't even know who's telling them I say these things. Who?
Do you feel like your jokes are misrepresented, or you think they're misrepresented that for a purpose, which is to?
It's almost some of the
clicks,
reporting
whatever.
was as if they almost reported on it as if I was doing something other than a comedy show.
I'll report on it. The media will say accurately talking about your show, and you'll say, "Oh, but I was doing a comedy show." One, Dave Chappelle and so many of these anti-cancel culture, anti-woke comedians, they like to think that, oh, comedy is a sacred, hallow, respectful, dying art, and it's the last leg that we have in true art and freedom of expression. It's such a sacred art form. You're getting on a stage and you're telling jokes. You're saying a bunch of words. Sometimes your words suck. Sometimes you're saying these jokes and people are like, I didn't like that. I didn't like those jokes. I feel like, Dave Chappelle, you wouldn't like if white comedians got on stage and just started spewing a bunch of hate about you. I don't think you would appreciate that. And especially if they were forming their jokes in the same way that Dave Chappelle formats his jokes. Because now I'll say it. I'm separate from the media. Dave Chappelle's stand-up bits, his stand-up routines from like since his return to comedy, they're barely stand-up comedy. He gets up there and he yaps for like 2 hours and he says maybe like 2 jokes. And if you don't believe me, if you go through and actually watch through, the laugh breaks in his actual stand-up routines now are so few and far between. Because like I said, he's doing that George Carlin era thing where he's trying to, yeah, I'm up here and I'm speaking truth to power. But yeah, sometimes I'll throw in a joke or two. You're just getting up there and you're yapping. You're yammering because you're old.
You know, I could go on and on about this, but I got to be
Interesting.
careful.
So in a way, like you're saying, look, I'm a comedian. Everybody knows that I'm a comedian. So if you don't like my humor, don't buy a ticket.
Reading a joke is a lot different than sitting in a room and hearing it. And part of the sitting in the room part of one of the reasons comedy works is because everyone that bought a ticket, clearly they want it to work.
Clearly, back when, exactly, Ty, clearly back when they had minstrel shows, clearly they bought the ticket and they came there and they wanted to laugh. So you people just don't understand comedy. I don't know what your guys' deal is. You guys hate comedy. People are coming here and they want to laugh and they want to They want to poke fun at each other.
They want to have a good time. They want to have fun.
Thank you, Ty.
But if you're a person that is very angry or passionate about something, and you're afraid that you're going to be misrepresented or misconstrued, and you feel like you have to police comedy to get your point across, you should assess your point.
Listen. I'm stealing this from a previous tweet. If you feel like you're someone who has to police comedy, maybe you should assess your point. And I saw someone else tweet this, and they were exactly right. Dave Chappelle says, I resent the Republican Party because they weaponize transgender jokes. That's not what I was doing. If you're a comedian and you feel like you need to police how people react to your jokes, maybe you should assess your point. You're getting up here and you're talking about trans people for 25 minutes, and your rabid Republican fan base that you have now, you might not like it, but they're taking everything that you said and they're running with it. And now you're looking at that and saying, oh, that's not what I was doing. Nah, I resent that. You guys don't know that. You're saying the things and everyone is like, yeah, he's got a point. They have the lifespan of the black trans woman is 30 years. It's almost like they have a reason to be passionate. Yeah. Instead, he's angry. Then what was he doing? Yeah. What was he doing? Exactly. Good Lord. Dave Chappelle says he resents how the Republican Party ran on transgender jokes. I feel like they were doing a weaponized version of what I was doing. That's not what I was doing. He talks about how Lauren Boebert came up to him. Let's see. Dave Chappelle. Lauren Boebert. Good Lord. Boebert. He wasn't even joking. Yeah, he's barely joking in his new stand-ups. Oh my god. What? Dave Chappelle, Lauren Boebert. Oh my god. But Dave famously said one of the reasons he quit the Chappelle show was because he saw white people laughing at black people instead of with black people, and he turned around and learned absolutely nothing. He learned nothing from that because he's only concerned with going on there and, yeah, I get to yap and say my mind, and I get to be paid thousands of dollars for that. Literally. Exactly that. Dave Chappelle Look. Dave Chappelle calls out Lauren Boebert for exploiting his good faith political gain. It started when Chappelle was on Capitol Hill and Boebert asked to take a picture with him. Boebert instantly used that picture for something Chappelle says you should never do to a person like me. Boo, you stink! Here comes Lauren Boebert. Look.
How they vote.
Look. This is the picture. It's a picture with Dave Chappelle and Lauren Boebert.
I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
This is before I learned the
Thank you,
phrase,
for the
I
roast.
respectfully decline. And I was on Capitol Hill.
Hold on. Mind you, took a picture with Lauren Boebert, and then she posted it to be like, look, he agrees with me that we're both evil. And his immediate defense is, listen.
This is before I learned the phrase, I respectfully decline.
Before I learned the phrase, I respectfully decline. I didn't know how to say that. I didn't know how to say no to a picture with someone until last year. Even though he's like 90.
And I was on Capitol Hill, and everybody ran up to take pictures with me from every congressional office. And I just take pictures with whoever asked. I didn't ask how they voted, what their voting record is. And everyone, at first it was like CBC people. And then here comes Lauren Boebert. And she said, can I get a picture? And I'd already taken 40 pictures. I didn't want to say no in front of everybody. But I didn't know the phrase, I respectfully decline.
You didn't know the phrase, I respectfully decline. Do you know the phrase no? Especially when the people asking you to take a picture are the exact people that you did not like, that you were unintentionally pandering to years ago. You didn't like that the white power structure was laughing at you back then. Now the exact people that are enacting all of this white supremacy in the country, they're the exact people coming up to you. Oh, take a picture with me, Dave Chappelle. Whoa, what do I do? If only there was a way to say that I respectfully decline. Oh, I guess I have to.
So I just took the picture. And then she posted a picture before I could even get from there to the show and says something to the effect of just two people that knew that it's just two genders. She instantly like weaponized it or politicized it. So I got to the arena and I lit her ass up for doing that. And she should never do that.
I lit her up for saying what I say in my comedy specials. I went on there, I lit her up. How dare she post a picture saying what I say in my comedy? He said no to $50 million, but he couldn't say no to Lauren Bob the Builder. So Chappelle is transphobic. Karopi's left eyeball, yes. He would probably vehemently disagree and deny, no, I just love comedy. You learned nothing, you lose.
Now she knows what's up.
Yeah.
Now she knows what's up. Good Lord. The very first joke in Dave Chappelle's new special from 2024, The Dreamer, is about the ridiculousness of being pressured to go along with the lies of transgenderism. That is who you're catering to in your comedy. And now you're surprised? You're surprised that the people you're literally doing jokes for and catering to with all of your new comedy, now that you've returned to stand-up, you're surprised that they're just repeating you. Why does he act like there aren't black trans people, or does he not? Yeah, he doesn't care about any issues that he hasn't, like, personally experienced, because his empathy does not extend that far, I guess. I resent what the Republican Party did. Let's see. Dave Chappelle wants his audience to remember how good it felt to be together in turbulent times. Get the
My favorite part
This episode contains profanity. Okay, hopefully I can stop it.
of my evolution was when I quit. There's certain things that I became in that time that I love about myself.
He became transphobic, I guess. I guess that's what he evolved into. Comedian to fence sitter pipeline is very real. Literally, it's all like fence sitting that he's learned. Now I learned that maybe I shouldn't have turned down those millions of dollars. I can just make money from not actually taking a stand on anything. That's not true. He did take a stand. Unfortunately, it was against marginalized people. This interviewer has infinitely more patience than I do.
Do you feel like your job is to be provocative, controversial, polarizing, any of that?
I don't court it. I just don't flinch from it. The United States government does business with the Saudis. Netflix does business with the Saudis. And none of these things were an issue until I went there.
And then he talks about him going to that Riyadh Comedy Festival in Saudi Arabia. Oh my.
As soon as a black man can make money off the plantation, they're trying to tell you that the money is dirty.
Oh my days!
Dave Chappelle is one of the most influential
Is he
stand-up
talking about Saudi Arabia? Yeah. Hold on. I'm sure we'll get in
comedians
to
of
the
our
actual
time.
clip that
He's
it was
known
from. This
for
is just the
pushing the
intro.
boundaries of what it's okay to say in public. He also uses his influence to advance the causes he believes in his art and in his community. Now, you probably know that, but what you may not know is that he lives here in Yellow Springs.
For the love of God!
Please!
Ohio, and that's where we begin our conversation.
Only in Ohio, am I right, guys? Am I right, guys?
Bro, oh my god.
By
what
what
fucking metric?
Thank you for having us.
Oh man, what an honor. What an honor.
Tell us where we are.
Well, this is my future offices for my production company in the what they call the old Union Schoolhouse in Yellow Springs, Ohio, which we have just completely renovated for our local NPR affiliate, WYSO.
Is it too strong to say that you saved the station?
Save the station? No. I think the station would have
saved
survived and
NPR.
hopefully thrived without me. But what I did achieve is I kept them here in Yellow Springs. So our NPR affiliate
Fast
has
forward.
a very special relationship with the community. It's like our lifeblood. It's a connective tissue for our community. So if they had
No way he thinks he alone saved NPR. He denied it, to his
left, we would
credit.
still listen, but it would have been demoralizing.
Ladies, please. I didn't single-handedly save NPR, but I helped.
Was if they would have to do that. And they had reached an impasse where they got independence from the university. They used to be affiliated with Antioch, and they wanted to stay in town, but there was nothing available. And this
The
place
building was in disrepair.
This place was a shambles. But when I was growing up, this building was vibrant. It was like a municipal building. That they would do. People would come here to pay their power bill and stuff like that. And then as the years went on, it had a few other purposes, but it just kind of got run down. Like most of the Midwest, it just kind of was looking for a new purpose. It was not an expensive building to buy. It was an expensive building to fix.
Oh, yeah.
But it was worth every penny.
Remind us, if you would, because some people know your story, but everybody doesn't. Why Yellow Springs is so important to you?
Well,
And you live here now.
I've been living here since like 2000. But
And you live here. This is
Also,
why you're summer
hello,
place. Like, you live
IMBA.
here.
yeah, my only home.
Yellow Springs is the Portland of Ohio, so leftist central, but that doesn't make his actions excusable.
Homes are here, but I have many homes here. I'm from D.C. Both my parents are.
Can't
But
stand
before I was born, my father worked at Antioch University. My mother worked at
Can't
Boebert.
stand Spider-Man.
They came back to D.C. I was born, and then maybe 2 years into my life, they separated, and my father moved back here. So I don't have many memories of them married, but he was very present in my life, and I would spend holidays and vacations here with him. So I guess I've always associated this place with relaxing. And around 90, 98, he passed. He was ailing for a while. So for a year, I would drive back and forth from New York to Ohio, and at that time, there wasn't a hotel here. There was nowhere to stay. And so we watched our kids grow older together. My wife, I know their families. If they need stuff, I hang out with my friends. It's a nice, it's a nice life. It's a nice balance for what my life is.
Yeah, he's old.
Protective of my privacy and my community. Or that we have a radio station that tells our stories. Like my son. I'm a filthy nightclub comic since I'm a kid. In my core, that's all I see myself as. And
Can you timestamp her questions so I can get to the subject matter of the interview?
the only reason I'm doing press around it is because I think the ethical community needs to be amplified, and I think that the importance of public broadcasting needs to be amplified.
The ethical community needs to be
But
broadcasted.
other than that, I like talking shit. I'm a filthy nightclub comic since I'm a kid. At my core, that's all I see myself as. And I don't want to say anything that gets them in trouble. I don't want their brand to necessarily be affiliated with me. I don't believe everything they say. They don't believe everything I say. But
I would hope not. I would hope whatever NPR, whatever brand you're with, doesn't believe in everything that you say.
And that's that's fine. But I like that NPR exists.
Let's say, for the sake of argument, they cover a story involving some of your business interests in town in a way that you don't like. What you gonna do?
We'll cross that bridge. I mean, it's happened before. Well, I've heard them say things or criticisms of my work on the station or on NPR. I mean, that's part of my job. But the relationship that this place has with our community pre-exists my career. You know what I mean? I can't really take that personally. But in fact, the more separate we are, I think the more comfortable we feel. But at the same time, it's familiar.
Do you see journalism and comedy being related in some way?
Incredibly.
How so?
Well, first of all, journalists determine what the baseline reality is. You guys, there's been times where I could write it.
I'll agree with him. Comedy and journalism is very near to each other.
An act that's just a rebuttal.
Especially in this day and age where a lot of the times the way that people get their news is through comedy videos online. How many times have you seen a comedy video on social media and that is how you found out about a breaking news story? Bunch of soft-loving claiming to be I know I'm not! I'm not a journalist, okay? I'm just stating I'm not a journalist. But in today's age where newspapers are going extinct and like cable news shows are going extinct, a lot of the times people will get their information about the world through comedy. And that's not a good thing, okay? It's not a good thing. A lot of that is probably the reason that we are where we are today, because people are just hearing through these grifters and people who just talk shit online, and that's how they know about the world. It's okay, Munchie, we support it. No, don't say that. Drewski does it really well with his skits. Yeah, you could say that Drewski is a journalist, but yeah, you know what I mean. He covers current events.
Reporting. Right. Now there's cable reporting.
Or SNL, sadly. No, exactly. A lot of people will get their news from like SNL.
Which is a lot more editorializing. What I like about NPR's reporting is fact-based, but she'll cut the meat. The journalists will ask the question, I'm thinking, well, what does that mean? Tell us what that means. And the person will explain something.
People taking Trump, a TV personality, to trust about politics is the problem about comedians being trusted as... Yes, exactly. People will look to these comedians online. Probably Katie, thank you so much for the follow. They'll look to these comedians online as their news and as their journalists in this day and age, which is why all the problematic shit that Dave Chappelle has spewed has amplified these voices in these spaces and allowed for this horrible discriminatory legislation against trans people to be a thing.
The last 10 years, watching the news is like taking a civics class. Because there's so many things that are happening in politics and whatever that are unprecedented. And you have to explain to a person, well, this is why this is unusual. You know, whatever the case may be, this contextualization is what comedians do. We're like a nation's kidney. We help.
Offensive jokes will never be funny because it makes socially acceptable for people to see people as... Yeah, these types of jokes, whether you agree or not, they do like normalize stuff.
Everyone metabolize not just facts, but feelings around facts or ideas. And in the last 15, 20 years, our culture and our media has been an avalanche of facts and ideas. It's very difficult to sift through.
Hold up.
15, 20 years, our culture and our media has been an avalanche of facts and ideas.
Hold up! Our culture for the last 15, 20 years has been an avalanche of facts and ideas. If American culture for the last 20 years was an avalanche of facts, maybe we would actually have any type of like sustainable energy. Maybe we would have not a gigantic housing crisis. Maybe we wouldn't have just 1% of the population control all of the wealth of the country. Maybe if our culture was facts, maybe we wouldn't have a notorious in the Oval Office right now. I swear his brain melted out of his head. Yeah. Didn't he basically do that with his comedy? Who? The media purposefully shows what they want people to see. They literally hide the truth. Yeah.
It's very difficult to sift through. And in that time, you've seen comedy rise up to the top of all genres because it does help people contextualize.
Say more about that, about comedy being like the nation's kidneys. I've heard you say this before. You use some language.
Marnie, thank you for the gifts. Sorry I didn't see them. Thank you so much, Marnie M99 for the heart me and for the go popular, and thank you Alessi for the rose. Thanks for the gifts, guys. Thanks for the like on the stream. Way to go, guys! Let's 2 for 40.
I can't use, but it involved, you know, as you put out. Let's put it. How can we put it in ways that won't jeopardize my license?
I'm like, I'm scared. What did I say?
We're helping people process all the.
Oh yeah, we really do.
Get it out of here.
I don't know what. Let him talk.
But say more about that, because the implication then is that you're engaged with the.
Dick Gregory once described Richard Pryor's work as brain surgery, or if I don't want to get on to like the specifics of the things I say on stage, but there's a lot of big ideas that people have feelings about, and there's no real context to conversate or rebut them. And jokes are just a shorthand for all of that. And sometimes it could be as simple as just laughing at something or making light of something just makes it feel less daunting.
Do you feel like your job is to be provocative? I'm just thinking about the adjectives that are applied to you. Provocative, controversial, polarizing, any of that?
No, I don't court it. I just don't flinch from it. Because at the core, man.
They're not helping people process shit. Listen, I agree that comedy can, like, serve a function in the cultural zeitgeist, whatever. Comedians, for some reason, they think that comedy is such a important, again, bastion of the culture and what we do. We're like brain surgeons. And yes, comedy can serve that important function. A lot of the times comedians need to stop sniffing their own farts, okay? We can tell funny jokes, all right? But isn't his work controversial? Dave Chappelle's work is extremely controversial.
At my core, I'm a filthy nightclub actor. I started in smoky rooms in D.C. and, you know, and black crowds and you know, white crowds and people had drinks and they just would gruff and said what they said back then. And it was never a big deal. And then as the time went on, people, you know, the culture started trying to renegotiate itself.
Yeah, because before, when you were making those jokes where they were like, yeah, white people will do this to black people, and that sucks. Isn't that bad? And people would be like, oh, blah, 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 blah. But you're speaking truth to power, okay? Your jokes that you're making about social issues, you're actually like trying to do a good thing and speak truth to power. Now that you're not doing that, you're trying to speak about trans people. You see how that's not the same thing? And people are like, what the fuck? That's kind of fucked up. I'm just wondering how the new Scary Movie will be. The new Scary Movie will be bad. There, I've answered your question.
And that's a great time to be a comedian.
When you say,
Hold on, to play devil's advocate, some comedians of yesteryear were really smart and aware of what's going on, but nowadays these people aren't helping or teaching anything meaningful. No, exactly. You're exactly right, Serafina. Exactly. A comedian, like I said, speaking about social issues before, they were probably having like an actual coherent, salient point and not just trans people.
I'm thinking about the role that a lot of black comics have played particularly for black people. A lot of times it's a release. Because a lot of times I think a lot of black people feel the way they have to navigate the world is to keep things stuffed down, right?
That's
Is it
right.
fair? So I think that a lot of black comedians, their role has often been to give people a release, to let them say the things that they can't say.
You didn't have the audiences like you do now. People could critically think on a larger level than we have now. And it's because he has catered to an audience that doesn't want to critically think about his comedy.
When they're going to their
But she's completely right here.
job or whatever. But now you are international. I mean, people all over the world watch you, listen to you. Certainly not just black audiences listen to you. And I wonder, do you feel like your job is different now?
Well,
What a great question.
no, the mechanics are the same. Now I'm an ambassador of a genre more than I was. I'm an ambassador of American culture more than I was.
Oh, God. Dave Chappelle, the ambassador of American culture.
If I put a show up in Berlin or Vienna and people come and see me, they're coming to see me as an American voice as much as a black one.
God help us.
Even though in the States they might not see it that way. Overseas, and, you know, I got all that flack for doing that festival in Saudi Arabia, but
Here it comes. Here it comes.
But in Saudi, you know, I don't think that festival would have been legitimate if I wasn't there.
Say
Oh! Oh my God.
more about that. Say more about that.
Say more. Thank you, journalist. Say more about that. I don't think that comedy festival would have been legitimate if I wasn't there. I think listen. Not only hold on. Hold on. I didn't hear that. He said that when Dave Chappelle participated in the Riyadh Comedy Festival. God, okay, can I get a lower quality image? This comedy festival with, is that Louis C.K., that one comedian, Pete what's his name that dated Ariana Grande? This guy, the Bobby Lee in that one ginger podcast, Aziz Ansari, other comedians, Dave Chappelle. Oh, that's Louis C.K. Guy that has that podcast, Andrew Schultz, Kevin Hart, whatever. Gabriel Iglesias, this guy. Oh God, is that the Filipino comedian? Bill Burr. All of these comedians, unfortunately that guy too. All of these comedians, not Bobby Lee is racist too. Oh, honey, the festival was ruined before she bought it. Not only is he saying that I lent legitimacy to that comedy festival because I was there. Dave Chappelle was there. Not only is he saying that, also, is that a flex? When everyone who was trying to criticize you for participating in this were saying, oh my God, you're going to this comedy festival in Saudi Arabia, that country that has gigantic human rights abuses, that literally all of these facilities are probably built on the backs of slave labor. That's your flex? Yeah, they're lucky to have me, Dave Chappelle, to go and perform for the Saudi Arabian comedy festival. Who told him that lie?
I'm not the biggest comedian, but my voice is sought after. In Saudi Arabia, for like the last 20 years, they've been doing, really maybe 15 years, they've been trying to do comedy shows in Saudi Arabia. Underground shows. The jokes were like contraband. These shows would happen in
Thank you, Terrell, for the heart me. Thank you so much for the gifts.
people's homes. They would happen in embassies. You know, comedians like Maz Jobrani and guys like this.
Yeah.
They've been going over there for years and doing these shows.
But privately.
Quietly. It wasn't, close to being private. Whatever, I don't know what their laws are.
But for the
around this.
elites, basically, people who.
Not for necessarily the elites. But yeah, for people who could have a house like that.
Okay.
I don't know what.
Not necessarily going to do comedy for the elites, but people who could like privately afford to hold these events.
Shows were like, because I didn't do those shows.
Okay. Yeah.
The first time I can remember doing a big show in the Middle
Gabriel Iglesias hurt me. Oh yeah, Gabriel Iglesias is very unfortunate.
East, my opening act was a guy named Mo Amber, who's Palestinian American, from Houston, but originally from Kuwait, but he's Palestinian. And Mo was probably on that circuit doing the secret shows in Saudi. And man, the thing that was remarkable was the crowd reaction. Right before I went on stage, it's actually funny. Right before I went on stage, they gave me a list of all the things I wasn't supposed to address. It's like, right before I went on stage. So I took the list on stage, and that was the show. I just did the list. Don't talk about the royal family. Is that y'all? And I just made fun of them. Man, they were screaming. Ah. Then after the show, I'm backstage at a meet and greet.
I wonder why.
And there was all these young comedians from all over the Middle East. They were looking at me like I wouldn't even know that they'd know who I am. They couldn't believe I was there. They kept saying, "You just say that? You just say that stuff?" Yeah, it's not a big deal in my mind. But I never forgot that. And that was in Dubai. Man.
What did Ty say in the chat earlier? I lose 100% of my respect for somebody if they go to Dubai. Well, did you lose your respect? Did you just now lose your respect for Dave Chappelle for going to Dubai and doing paid comedy shows where they give him a list of topics he can't talk about? Oh, but he's a rebel because he went through the list and was like, don't talk about the royal family. Is that you guys? Groundbreaking, cutting edge, biting.
In Riyadh, that crowd watching that comedy, the first time the government let them even see something like this.
Dave Chappelle way before. I thought he was dead.
It was like a baby tasting sugar. If I had choked a tiger out, they couldn't have been more impressed. They were screaming.
You think you're creating space for them that wouldn't exist?
I went and I performed comedy for the people in Saudi Arabia, and it was I introduced them to fire. I'm like Apollo. I'm like a Greek god to them in Saudi Arabia. How are you gonna criticize me for that? I literally exposed them to higher life over there. So humble, Dave Chappelle.
The very least, and this is not nothing, that must have felt incredibly cathartic if you can't say everything you want to say, but you see somebody model that behavior. Oh man, you're gonna want it. So if you think of all the violence and all the things we export to the Middle East, I think our culture is the best export we got.
But
I didn't feel wrong being up there.
yeah, I know you're
Yeah, we know. We know you didn't feel wrong being up there.
talking about the Comedy Festival in 2025. You did get a lot of fall. You did get a lot
He's
of...
gonna do a show in Tel Aviv next. Dave Chappelle participating in colonialism. Hey, he's the best export that we got.
I don't know what your pushback or criticism
That's just
for going among other
criticism,
people.
yeah.
Okay, the intelligence, U.S. intelligence did make it clear that they believe that the Saudis killed Jamal Khashoggi and the embassy in Turkey, and you knew that when you went, right?
Oh, absolutely. Now,
You
I
didn't have
should
any-
tell you,
You had no qualms?
I won't say that. They asked me to go years before that, and I said no for that very reason. Since then,
Wait! Oh my god! Yeah, it was very clear that they assassinated this journalist. Yeah, and I didn't like that, and I said no when I heard about that. And after saying no, now I want money, and I waited a long enough time, so I want to go and do it.
at the time, the United States government does business with the Saudis. Netflix does business with the Saudis. Everyone, the Saudis finance tons of movies. All these, I know, I see them financing boxing matches and all these things. And none of these things were an issue until I went there. And why is that?
Now, why is that? And now Dave Chappelle is trying to say, oh, it's a problem. Oh, it's only a problem when I try to go and perform for the Saudi Arabian Comedy Festival and take their money. Oh, but you're not mad at Netflix for doing that. Every comedian on that block got so much shit for that, for going and performing. And I don't believe that
It was ruined when she
bought it. Yeah. I don't believe that every person, every face on this comedy show is black. But I remember every single one of these comedians getting pushback for that. It's probably when anyone does it, David. Yeah. I remember when, I'm pretty sure it's I remember when they announced the WWE is gonna start hosting their, like, SmackDown or whatever in Saudi Arabia, and I remember all of the pushback that got. Because WWE was partnering with Saudi Arabia. Respectfully, chat, when I think of WWE, my first thought is not black owners and it being a problem for the black owners making money. I know this picture is very low quality. I don't even know how many black people are in this photo. Not the ref, not John Cena, not this guy John Cena just beat, not any of the Saudi Arabian viewers. Remember when Kevin also commented about the trans community? Oh god, I haven't even seen that. It's giving that Coco Jones meme, and you would do it too for a check.
As soon as a black man can make money off the plantation, they try to tell you that the money is dirty.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks! Also, yeah! What? In your analogy, as soon as a black man can make money off the plantation, they try to tell you that... Why do you want to make money off the plantation? Do you hear yourself right now? Am I going crazy? Do you not hear what you just said? Oh, so I can't make money off of it. Kevin Hart is also an insufferable piece of, hey, I'm not gonna say you're wrong.
Well, okay, I'll go home and spend the money with actual slave owners on it. Where is this clean money you're talking
But you
about?
said you...
Not at that event. Or are you acting like that's the only comedy show you can ever do? I wish. Lord only knows that I wish it was.
Hesitated for years to go. The years you didn't go. So what made the difference for you?
Yes! Thank you! Thank you. This lady's on fire. Careful.
Yeah.
Time and circumstance. Time and the wheels of commerce kept
Okay, say you're broke then.
turning. You know, if you want to be that pure about money, then stop driving your car, stop eating, don't use your cell phone.
Give me a... Oh my god, he's making the exact argument that guy on TikTok did. What's his name? Bran Flakes? Yeah, I did a Starbucks sponsorship to go to Coachella, but you have iPhone. You have Google. Yeah, so you guys are just as guilty as me, who took all of this money to promote this unethical, evil stuff, but you guys have iPhone, okay? Not sure if I'm wording this right, but it's almost like Dave Chappelle wants to be like the white people who laughed at his jokes about black people. Keep your heels pressed on his shoulders, challenge it. Yes, this journalist is doing a great job.
Is tethered to something that's just terrible.
Yeah, but you see how owning an iPhone is not the same as taking blood money to go perform at a comedy festival in Saudi Arabia? WWE ruined the legacy of Surf's Up for the sake of profit. Them giving money to Saudi Arabia was just as expected. I know exactly what you're talking about. The Surf's Up 2 WWE movie.
And I can make a million excuses or reasons to deprive that crowd of that show. But man, when I was standing in front of them, I feel like I did the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah! I'm so glad. Yeah, after I got the $1 million check and I went up there and the people were laughing at my joke, I think I did the right thing. You guys are just being a bunch of meanies. Wow, how enlightened of you.
Our governments are going to ruin everything for us. We'll never get to know each other if we just do everything that they want to do or function on the terms that they want us to function. And we don't even really know what's going on. Not for sure.
Well, artists have always made these.
You get the... Oh my god. We don't even really know what's going on. Get the out of here, Dave Chappelle. You wanna play the oath, but the government puts forth a lot of disinformation about these regimes across the country. You were not going and performing in North Korea, Dave Chappelle. Let's be so real. You were not performing there. You were performing in Saudi Arabia and in Dubai. Get the... Oh my god.
Going on. Not for sure.
Well, artists have always made these decisions. I mean, there were these decisions in South Africa under apartheid. You know?
Yeah, artists going and performing in apartheid South Africa.
Oh, there were decisions about whether artists should go there or not go. And then the question is, are you validating the system or are you resisting it with your
This lady's awesome.
presence?
I feel hello,
I mean,
Joe.
look,
So,
in the middle of apartheid, if I went and played Sun City, I'd say I'm a bad person. But if I went and played Soweto, why would I not do that? You know, okay, I'll give you another example. It's not a good example.
Okay.
I'm doing a show. There's a police officer killed a black person, and the black community asked me to cancel the show. We don't want artists to come. We want to boycott. Well,
was that in Ohio? Was that in Cincinnati? After
yeah, it
one
was
of the-
exactly
Was
where
it
that
Cincinnati?
The black community asked you to boycott because we don't want you to come and bring all of this revenue here for this city if the city is going to stand behind this racist cop.
Yeah.
And I respected their wishes, but it's like, or we could have got together and talked about it.
Get the Oh my god! You know, I respected their wishes, but maybe I could have just gone and we could have all held hands. So, Dave, you're a grifter. Why are you talking about the black community like you aren't a part of us? I love this black woman. Oh, hell no! Yeah, you know, they didn't want me to come and bring so much revenue to that state that was protecting that racist cop, but maybe I could have gone and told some jokes and we could all laugh for a night, and also I could make $1 million. But maybe we could have just all gotten together and been friends. He said that as if he ain't a part of the black community. I like how you guys are noticing this in the chat. Maybe I could have gone and taken a bunch of money.
And I like, I mean, I'm saying I like doing that, but I do that often. When Minneapolis was going through it, and maybe when I was in Paris when they killed out.
I do that often. I perform at a lot of places that these atrocities take place. I do that a lot.
Alex Preddy, and man, I booked the show in Minneapolis right after.
I love how these black celebrities purposely go on the side of people purposely against us, but when we no longer support them, then they want to be like, I'm still for us, y'all.
They kill that guy, like, man, they're gonna need talk about this, and that was nerve-wracking. Another situation, or Tops Market in Buffalo. Man
killed like 10 black
10
people.
black people unprovoked in a grocery store. That happened right after I got tackled in L.A. at the Hollywood Bowl. But man, I went to Buffalo. You know, it's not that I think that jokes help.
Were they asking you to boycott? Why? Why are you? Oh, dude, comedians! Oh my God, comedians! See, guys, I took $100,000 and I went and I performed at this place where horrible stuff happened. Oh, please, come on, ladies, come on. There's a theory in Africana studies, black people who become successful go down one of two paths, uplifting the community or reaching back effect. They act like they aren't. Good night, everyone, except for Chappelle.
But you can console certain communities with your presence, or just acknowledging that you see them and that you heard with them.
You feel like you're lancing.
I know I pause a lot. Wow, you're so thoughtful about, sometimes just acknowledging that you're with these communities and you see them. That can be helpful and that can be good. Does that include the trans community, Dave Chappelle? Does that include that community, or are you just gonna make a bunch of fucking jokes about them?
The boil in a way for people, or just giving them a place to feel their feelings, or
he's acting like he's a freedom fighter when he's just another out-of-touch celebrity with yes men around him. Exactly, Serafina. If you were still trying to make this biting, cutting-edge comedy, that would be one thing even. But when you're not even doing that and you're just going up there and rambling for an hour and a half and just collecting a check everywhere, how sanctimonious, how thoughtful of you.
Okay, well, one is mutual. The Tops Market thing would be so upsetting that I want to be there. You know, like I have a friend from Buffalo that's their local grocery store. His mother shops there. Like, thank God she was all right, but it hits close to home.
But what about people who feel like you're punching down, like you are not a trans person?
Yeah, well, yeah, thank you. Yeah, you're so for the community and you love the community, support the community, rep the community, go there and lift the spirits of the community. What about if it's a community that you're not part of? And that is also a victim of marginalization in this country. That they're literally having legislation being written about them to try to limit their rights and freedoms in this country.
There are people who feel like it's different when you are part of the group that has been attacked, hurt, demeaned, etc. And then if you're outside of that group and you're having commentary about it, it causes feelings. And what do you say to people who feel that in some occasions you're punching down?
Well, okay, this is a conversation that
fucking rolls his eyes because he's sick of people telling him that I can't punch down in my comedy. Oh, I'm punching down. Ugh. Oh, give me a break. People getting mad that I'm punching down. Yeah, I've heard it before.
If you're outside of that group and you're having commentary about it, it causes feelings. And what do you say to people who feel that in some occasions you're punching down?
Well,
literally rolls his eyes when he hears the term punching down.
Okay, this is a conversation that I'm,
You're bored by, sick of.
She's right.
Nah, I'm not sick of it. I don't want to be dismissive to that sentiment, but I don't know. That's a tough one for me because so much of that was a media phenomenon. What?
So much of that was a media phenomenon. I'm gonna have to go back to this many times during this. Dave Chappelle on transgender for 25 minutes straight. A media phenomenon, guys. I wasn't even, come on, I wasn't even like that.
What was happening in
He respectfully declines to answer.
actual life versus how the media was reporting on my show. And I feel like the way they reported on that show was rage baiting to some degree. And there's so many different branches to talk about it. But I would say that, you know, not everything is for everybody. I don't tell country artists what to sing about if I'm not going to go see a country show. The minute that he's pushed back on a little bit, it immediately goes to, oh, it's just the Wild West. What? Anyone can say anything about anything. What are you trying to police stuff for? What are you trying? If I don't go to a country meeting instead of tell them what to do. If they bought tickets ever, maybe I'd listen. I don't know. They're just never there. I don't even know who's telling them I say these things. Who?
Do you feel like your jokes are misrepresented, or you think they're misrepresented for a purpose, which is to?
It's almost some of the reporting
whatever.
was as if they almost reported on it as if I was doing something other than a comedy show.
Other than a comedy show. Why do comedians act like being on stage at a comedy club, at a comedy night? That's like a vacuum. It's like the second that you step onto a stage, I can now say whatever I want and no one can think anything of it. Because this is on the sacred stage of comedy. Gonna act like it wasn't that deep.
You know, I could go on and on about this, but I got to be
Interesting.
careful.
So in a way, like you're saying, look, I'm a comedian. Everybody knows that I'm a comedian. So if you don't like my humor, don't buy a ticket.
Reading a joke is a lot different than sitting in a room and hearing it. And part of the sitting in the room.
People have overhyped comedy. Hold on. Reading a joke is a lot different from hold on. Put yourself in the room.
Comedian. So
What?
if you don't like my humor, don't buy a ticket.
What the hell was
Reading a joke is a lot different than sitting in a room
that? Oh,
and hearing it.
let me see. Dave Chappelle. Is this a lot different from reading instead of sitting on a joke and hope I don't get taken down for this.
Because I am not a woman, nor am I a trans. But as we've established, I am a feminist. That's right. I'm Team Turf. I agree.
Is that? Oh, it's not the same. Reading a joke is not the same as when you.
That's right. I'm Team Turf. That's right. I'm Team Turf. I'm Team Turf. I'm Team Turf. Team Turf.
Oh, you don't understand that I was in a comedy show. You don't get it. I'm a comedian, guys. God.
Part of one of the reasons comedy works is because everyone that bought a ticket, clearly they want it to work. They want to have a good time. They want to have fun. But if you're a person that
Him knowing what that is telling exactly.
that is very angry or passionate about something, and you're afraid that you're going to be misrepresented or misconstrued, and you feel like you have to police comedy to get your point across, you should assess your point.
You should assess your point if you feel like you have to police comedy. If you have to do your comedy show, I said this already, if you have to do your comedy show, and then you have to, oh wait, no, you don't understand. No, I told that joke, but it wasn't for you agreeing with you guys that suck. Don't take a picture with me like you're my fan. No, when I said that, I'm just, come on, we're just laughing with each other. Maybe you need to reassess your point, Dave Chappelle. You've cultivated this gigantic audience that you resent them. Maybe you should reassess your point.
I heard you say at your when you received the Mark Twain Award, which is a very big honor, and congratulations.
Thank you.
I mean, it's really the highest recognition that this country really gives somebody in your field. And one of the things that you said that struck me was that if you go to a comedy club somewhere in America, your feelings and thoughts are represented.
Every opinion has a champion.
And say more about that, though. Why do you think that matters?
Every opinion. I get so sick of centrists. Every opinion matters. Every opinion matters. Every opinion matters. Every opinion matters. Guy wants to come on and just say a bunch of slurs. A guy wants to go and pull his eyes back. Golly.
Because it's important, because every opinion that you could think of is championed in a room.
And that's what's so annoying and so infuriating about this, is because these people that have like no actual beliefs that they want to stand up and defend, and they don't want to actually make any type of moral stance, then they try to hide behind, oh, but everyone should do that. Come on, guys. We should support everyone's beliefs. It's the exact same shit. They pull this all the time with the let me see it. With the when the dad posted that apology to Chappelle Roan. Everyone loves to make an both sides argument. It's sad to see this kind of treatment coming from those who should understand the importance of the fence. At the end of the day, there's no one should have to go. Oh no, that's the him calling for Chappelle Roan to have a giant angry mob about her. I need to find that dad. The dad who posted the shit about Chappelle Roan when he made his retraction, when he was like, I don't support anyone on any side saying anything mean, guys. No one should say anything mean. Conveniently leave out that one side specifically was saying a lot of mean stuff, specifically targeting someone. No sides, guys. God! Let's find another example. Donald Trump blaming Charlottesville on both sides. Oh, there were people, and there were good people on both sides. See, that way I don't actually have to fucking take a stand on anything, and I could just be like, come on, guys. I just think that, everyone has everything. All lives matter. Exactly. Guys, some people think I'm just evil. Some people think I don't want to take a stance against any injustices. But you know what I mean, guys? I just want to say, all lives matter, guys. Come on, God. You really think that I have any type of hostility towards it? All lives centrists are helping speedrun the fall of society. Exactly. And anyone that does not acknowledge that is part of the problem. Censors love to passively target. They love to just like throw this smoke bomb at the ground, and no one can be mad at everything, because guys, everyone matters.
I don't silence your champions.
Notice how the white hands are in the front of the All Lives Matter poster.
I make space for your champions to have a voice, but I'm not your champion, and I am someone else's. You can't silence the team that you don't like.
You can't silence the team that you don't like. For context.
Now, I shouldn't speak on this because I am not a woman, nor am I a Team Turf.
You shouldn't silence the team that you disagree with.
That's right. That's right. I'm Team Turf. I'm Team Turf. I'm Team Turf.
You shouldn't silence the team that you disagree with.
I'm Team Turf.
If that's your team, Dave Chappelle, I would love if you would be silenced for a day, please. Can you please stop for one day? I would love it if you could get silenced. Like that one time that comedy club canceled your show. Thank God that happened. But I know that you milked that shit for years. Oh, they're trying to silence me because I don't like what I have to say.
They're saying, but you do have the opportunity to go on after them, say your piece. You know, man, this has happened to me so many times in my career. Where a guy will say something, I'm like, oh, and I feel a way about it. You know, I don't think that they should be silenced, but I can't wait to go put me up next.
And I'm gonna have what I have to say about it.
I got you. And then afterwards, we go upstairs. We might talk shit, but we're fairly cordial.
Yeah, wouldn't it be such a much better place? Don't you think that it would have been nice if you didn't have to be cordial with these white supremacist comedians your entire career? Wouldn't that have been nice if people could say, that's super fucked up. Why are we letting this guy get on stage and say this hateful shit? He should have less to say, yeah.
There's people who say things I don't like all the time. I go to their kids' birthdays. I go to their funerals. Like,
that's not a flex, Dave Chappelle. People say stuff I don't like. People that think I don't deserve rights. I'm friends with them. I go to their kids' birthdays and I go to their funerals. Why? Why are you doing that?
These are the comedians I came up with.
Congratulations.
And if I see these same people throughout my life, then clearly they're part of my community. And everyone's in it. There's trans stand-up comedians. There's every sexuality, every kind of identity. And we support one another.
You know what's interesting, though? We are in a time when, I know you talked about comedians as being like the nation's kidney who process like...
The nation's kidney. With the glass ceiling, hold on. Play it.
With the glass ceiling broken, all the oppressed groups shall prosper, especially the most oppressed group of all, gamers.
All the oppressed groups will prosper. All the oppressed communities will come together, especially the most oppressed group of all, comedians. God, comedians.
All the things that people feel, like all of it, right? The President of the United States says everything. I mean, we are in a moment where the President of the United States expresses things in a way. He expresses things that many people find deeply offensive. He expresses them in a way that many people find deeply offensive and hurtful. And I'm just wondering, does that change your work? Because it's one thing to be a person who articulates the rawness when the rest of the world is buttoned up. But what about when the rest of the world isn't buttoned up? And I just wonder if that changes.
This lady is cooking. Thank you so much, reporter.
It's things for you. You know what I'm saying?
And he's a bad example because he has a dismissive shorthand about people. Like a comedian, if we're up there talking, it's a way different type of interface than say being president of the United States, because
it's a totally different job. I credit that, but I'm saying
I'm talking about not just the job, the actual interface, how we actually are communicating to people.
Well, say more.
Well, the presidency is the presidency. If you vote for the person or not, that's your president. This is an authority figure. This is the top law enforcement agent. He's the top, he's the executor of all of America's affairs. And I just have to move my crowd. You can opt